Don't you hate it when somebody actually says to you, yeah, I need to think about it? What do you say? What do you do? Well, in this video, I want to show you specifically how to overcome I need to think about it and what to do to be able to prevent those words coming at you during a buying conversation. My name is Joe Marcoux, and I am the founder and creator of the SOS Dojo. SOS stands for the Sales Objection System, and I'm going to show you today how to overcome the objection, I need to think about it, or I want to think about it, I need to sleep on it. Now, we got to remember, there's going to be times when people will have an absolute rule. No matter what you do, there's going to be times where people are going to say, I don't trust myself and I need to think about it before I make an emotional decision. Fair enough. Just remember, people are going to buy based on emotion and they're going to justify with logic. So if you do a good job of being able to get that place where it's emotional for them and they're driven through desire, and you can justify it with logic, and they see that logic, that it makes all the sense in the world logically to follow the emotional space where they were first at. When you get that balance, there won't need to be a time to think about it because it makes all the sense in the world to move forward. That's a hint in terms of what you need to do and what do you need to ask to be able to get people to think about it themselves while they're speaking with you, because you're an expert. You likely have all the information that they need to be able to make an educated decision. The key here is we don't want to be pushy. What we want to do is we want to help people make a decision. And no is a valid decision, because the truth is you're not going to sell everybody 100% of the time. So if anybody ever tells you, oh yeah, you're going to be able to close 100% of the people 100% of the time, they're lying to you. Realistically, if you're really good at being able to incite someone's desire and the urgency behind that desire, and you can help them come to the place of justification logically, hey, let's face it, you should be able to get about 80%. 8 out of 10 people will make a decision to move forward with you. Again, all things being equal. So let's jump into it. I need to think about it. There's 2 steps to the SOS. 2 steps that will help you overcome any objection. Now, most people make the mistake of skipping the important first step. And the first step is acknowledge. You must acknowledge the person that you're speaking with, because if you don't acknowledge them, then what happens is you come across as way too aggressive. And I'll give you an example. Somebody says, hey, Joe, you know what? I need to think about it. And a lot of people would just go, so what do you need to think about? Now, you may be well-meaning with that question. The problem is, what do you need to think about comes in way too aggressive, way too strong. So let's take a step back. Let's acknowledge the person. You're having a conversation with them. Somebody says, Joe, you know what? I just need to think about it. Hey, listen, I totally appreciate the fact that you might want to take some time to reflect here. I'm just curious, what is it specifically you want to think about that we didn't get a chance to talk about today? Just have the conversation. First step, step 1, acknowledge the person. Let them know that you've heard what they've had to say and that they want to be able to take time to reflect and that you're acknowledging that they want to do that. The thing is that we want to be curious and find out what is it specifically they want to think about that we didn't get a chance to discuss. Maybe something else will come out. And oftentimes is, well, I just need to figure out a way to be able to fit this to my budget. Well, there's a different objection. So now what we've been able to do is uncover what's really going on, as opposed to, okay, you get back to me whenever you want. And by doing that, I'll tell you what, you'll get ghosted. And I don't want that to happen to you. And I don't want that to happen for your guest that you're speaking with. Because that guest, they're looking for your help. They're just feeling a little nervous. Remember, people are going to give you an objection because they're afraid to make the wrong decision. And by the way, if that's not the reason, it's because they're afraid to make the right one. Either way, they're afraid. People are nervous when it comes to that particular moment of truth where they have to decide and they have to make the investment. And they're making the investment in who? In themselves. And we got to help people decide. Ultimately, that's your job. The goal here as a trusted advisor is you want to be a professional decision maker upper. You want to help people make a decision. And that decision can very well be no. No is fair. The beauty of no is that it gives you the idea, the information in terms of what's behind the no, so you can help them get to the yes that's going to help them get the solution that they need or the results that they want. So when somebody says, I need to think about it, or I want to think about it, remember, they're likely feeling a level of fear. They're not sure. So acknowledge them first. I can appreciate that you want to be a team player. I'm just curious, what is it specifically you want to think about that we didn't get a chance to talk about today? And there's a little bit of body language that you can use here to help. Number one is, I said, you might want to take time to reflect. I can appreciate that you might want to take time to reflect. And then lean into empathy. When your head is straight, you're in the authority space. You're in the authority mode. Now, when you tilt your head just 15 degrees, and by the way, doesn't that look reminiscent of something? You go into 15 degrees and you just say, so what is it specifically you want to think about that you and I didn't get a chance to talk about today? Give it a shot. And again, these little cues, when you stack them, they become these, like James Clear would say, atomic habits that would make a massive difference as you put them into play. It's not just about the words that we use, it's about the tone and the body language, because we want people to feel secure. Remember, somebody is giving you an objection. They want to think about it. They're feeling afraid. They want to think about it because they're afraid to make the wrong decision or they're afraid to make the right one. Now, if you want to be able to overcome this objection, we have to come in with an acknowledgement to the person first. Maintain the alignment. As long as we stay aligned, and then we can inspire to motivate them to understand their motive to action so they feel empowered to make a decision. And that's what AIM is. And that's part of the program within the SOS Dojo. We want to eliminate objections before they happen. We need to be able to ask questions to our guest to be able to incite desire and then create urgency. And all of that so that they have an emotional decision that they can justify with logic, so that you don't hear, hey, I really want to take time to sleep on it, or I need to go and think about it. If we can eliminate that, imagine what that would do for your sales. Imagine what that would do for the people that are on calls with you, because now you're helping eliminate fear altogether so they feel confident in you. And that's part of the 3 C's. You need to have confidence when you speak with someone and a level of conviction, and within all of that, control. Because if you don't have control, you end up repelling people. So the 2 steps of the SOS: acknowledge, ask a question. I need to think about it. Well, I can appreciate you might need some time to reflect here. I'm just curious, what is it specifically you want to think about that we didn't get a chance to talk about today? Practice those 2 steps, because when you have that level of confidence and conviction, you'll be able to overcome the I want to think about it objection. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. If you're curious about putting in some practice of this and other objections, click the link below and then come and visit us for an absolutely free SOS Sales Objection System Dojo session. You'll be able to step in with all of our active members and put in some reps to be able to practice it to a level where you develop unconscious competence, where you'll hear the objection, you won't even think twice, it'll just flow automatically in your own voice, in your own words. See you soon. I'll see you in the dojo.